Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for joining me again. So I'm back here with another video for you. It's been a little bit, over the last couple of weeks over here, things have been pretty hectic. I won't go into that, but I thought I would make another video today just to keep the momentum of the channel going. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm actually going to go back to my existing CD collection. So I think I mentioned in the last video I might show another update soon, the Hell's Headbangers collection update. That one's massive, but I thought in order to give this channel some variety, I'm going to sometimes also just change it up. So we're going back to my existing CD collection today, and for probably the next 5 CDs, and then the next one will probably be an update. And there's also other material like my vinyl, so much stuff, but I want to keep it a little bit unpredictable, so that's what we're doing. So I've got 5 CDs to talk about today, so hopefully this one's a quick one for you. It should go quickly. Famous last word, so we'll see. Just before I get started, what we're listening to in the background, this is Under the Southern Cross. So let's take this out, you can see it a little better. Yep, so cover art done by Reverend Chris Hades of Sadistic Execution. This is an Australian extreme metal compilation. Well, actually just metal compilation, released in, I believe, 1999. That's when I bought it. And it's just showcasing some of Australia's most famous or not so well-known metal bands. So it features all kinds of subgenres like death metal, black metal, heavy metal, power metal, grindcore. Yeah, just any kind of subgenre of metal. So it's really got a lot of variety, and it features a lot of fantastic bands. And this album actually led me to discover a lot of brilliant bands which I hadn't known about before. So it was a real gem in that sense. So talking about the actual bands featured on this, obviously there's some of Australia's most famous extreme metal exports, like you've got Sadistic Execution, Destroyer 666, who have achieved international fame. Who else? Bloodduster, they're quite a famous band. So yeah, all kinds of bands, but there were so many on this that I had never heard of, and this compilation led me to discover their music further, which was great. Like, even being from Australia, at the time I didn't know a lot of these bands, but I became a fan of these bands as a result of this compilation. So I'm not sure if you can still get your hands on this, or if it was released exclusively in Australia, but nevertheless, really good compilation. So on the inside, it's just got, a little blurb about each band featured. So it's also got Alchemist, they're quite a famous Australian band. Cryogenic, I'm just naming ones that people may know. Yeah, so a lot of variety, very eclectic, and the descriptions are actually really good. That's what led me to pursue some of these bands further. Now, there's a reason I'm showing this that will become apparent very soon. Some of the bands I'd recommend checking out on this would be, there's so many, but Alchemist, Anatomy, Sith Lord, Lord Chaos, Baltak, Armored Angel, one of Australia's most famous death metal bands, like very old school, Astrial. Yeah, Dungeon, also a very good band, which Dungeon are a power metal band. So really eclectic and featuring a lot of quality bands. This is Under the Southern Cross playing in the background now. All right, so as I said, there's a reason I'm playing this CD, because today's collection video with some of my existing CDs features a band from this album. So we're going to get straight into this. So first CD for today. This is an Australian black metal band. This is ANARAZEL with Devil Hymns. Now I'll just take this out again because in this plastic sleeve the artwork's not so clear. But just for the record, I really like this artwork. It's sort of got ancient Greek, ancient Etruscan architecture and imagery in it, but really cool. This, as you can see, this is a slipcase promo CD. So I didn't buy it in the shop. This band is unsigned, and they were around in the late 90s until the early 2000s, I think. And then I read on Metal Archives that they recently reformed in like 2017. Still unsigned, but a very good band. they're from Melbourne, Victoria. So for those who don't know, Melbourne is sort of like the metal mecca of Australia, like a great scene down there. I'm from Sydney, but when I went to Melbourne, like the gigs there are amazing, and there's just a very rich metal heritage down in Melbourne. So this is one band from there. Just show you the disc here. Pretty cool logo with this band. And nothing on the inner sleeve, just credits on the back. So this is a 3-track demo released in the year 2000, and it's actually quite original. Like they consider themselves a black metal band, and I can see that. But when I listen to the music, I find there's elements of other styles of music. Like it's got the energy of death metal and the ferocity of grindcore, especially in the drum sound. Like the drumming is just like hyper fast, super fast blast beats, and it's got that real sort of snare pang sound, like ping, 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 ping. You know, like which you hear on a lot of gore grind and grind albums, but like super fast, just interesting. So it's sort of like a melting pot of a few extreme metal subgenres. So anyway, this is a 3-track demo, over pretty quickly, but as I've listened to this more, it's grown on me a lot. I'm not sure who gave this to me, actually. I think it might have been one of the 2 people I traded with a lot in the early 2000s. So in Australia, that would have been Greg or Jeff. But then again, I can't be sure. Maybe Ken? Did you give it to me? I'm not sure. But either way, it's just a great album. So if you have a chance, check these guys out. Track 1 of the 3, that's called Hatred. That's a very short and fast track. Just hypnotic, fast and blistering. And it's hypnotic with the vocal patterns and the sinister guitar sound. Like in a way, it kind of reminds me of that US death metal band Thornspawn from Texas, which are a great band. Imagine like just a sped up, intensified version of Thornspawn. That's basically track 1. Track 2, this is where the sort of track 1, I should say, first of all, it's almost like featuring elements of grindcore and death metal. Like you could call that a kind of grindy black track, I suppose. So if you like that kind of stuff, should be interesting to you. Track 2 is more standard black metal. That's got some mid-paced evil riffing with blasting drumming and some catchy breakdowns. And they also have quite a few tempo changes in that song. So they move to some thrashy, groovy parts. And there's also some frantic kind of 2/4 drumming, like instead of like just with the blast beat, it's like, but like they really change up the tempo, so always keep you interested. And the guitars just have this evil, menacing sound. Speaking of which, the production on this demo, it's kind of thin. The drums are very snare heavy and raw. The guitars just have this really menacing old school tone. So if you like that raw, evil sounding black metal, who doesn't? Then you'll probably enjoy this. Now, actually, my favorite track on this is track 3, which is called Coven of Ghouls. So, before I even say anything else, from the title, you've probably gathered that's a tribute to Morbid Angel. So, what that means is that track features mean, heavy, sinister, groovy riffs, as well as blast beats, just like Morbid Angel. For me, it reminds me a lot that song of Blessed Are the Sick, which for me, that's my favorite Morbid Angel album. And it's quite funny, Morbid Angel, you probably think I'm insane, but that was a band, when I was younger, they didn't grab me straight away, and over the years, they slowly grew on me, and it was about 10 years ago when I started listening to my CDR version of Blessed Are the Sick. I thought, this album's amazing, this band's amazing. So track 3 sounds very similar to Blessed Are the Sick, so if you like that album, that would be interesting to you too. And it's interesting, the lyrics in that song, they feature a lot of references to Morbid Angel songs. Like you've got, some of the lyrics include Dawn of the Angry, Day of Suffering, Altars of Madness, Domination, Evil Spells. But musically it's the same, except it's got raspy black metal vocals. But I guess that's their sort of like musical tribute to a legendary death metal, extreme metal band, Morbid Angel. Yeah, so this is a demo. As I said, the band's active again, and I think they've released a few more. But this is something that's just grown on me more and more. So if you're interested in checking out some underground Australian black metal, which is very energetic and a bit different, I recommend this. This is Anarazell with Devil Hymns. Up next, we have another black metal band from Australia, also from Melbourne. This is Anatomy with The Witches of Dathomir. So the compilation which I showed you before, Under a Southern Cross, that featured a track by Anatomy called Just One More Nail. That was the first time I heard Anatomy, and that song just blew me away because it's very like raw, menacing, fast black metal, but at the same time, a bit like ANARAZEL, it's injected or fused with the energy of death metal, and maybe not grind as much as ANARAZEL, but definitely of death metal. Like you've got blistering, shredding guitar solos, but also these grim melodies. So it's a real mixed bag. So actually, I used to own the debut album by this band called Where Angels Die, which is also very good. And for some reason, when I was younger, I made the mistake of selling that. And I don't know why. I didn't think it was bad. It's just like, you know, sometimes when you have a big collection, you don't listen to stuff so much. You try to clean out sometimes, but I kind of regret that because that was a good album. However, I do prefer this one. The Witches of Dathomir is just great. So I'll just show you the CD there. And so that's a picture of the band performing live. Pretty cool cover artwork here. That sort of ghoulish witch on the front. Very nice. And on the inside, you've just got lyrics. Yeah, so this is a very good album. The way I would describe this, as I said, is black metal. What's interesting about it is the guitar tone is perfect. And unlike a lot of black metal albums where a lot of songs sound interchangeable, I find that the melodies on this album, you can really distinguish between the songs. Like all the songs stand out, which is a bit different. And yeah, the songwriting's really good. The production's good. Like it's appropriately raw, but you can still hear the riffs clearly, if that makes sense. And like the drums, the bass, everything's clear. The vocals are really sort of manic and shrieky, but sometimes melding with death metal a little bit. And as I said, it's just got the energy of death metal, like that you've got blistering guitar solos and some sort of like really intense blast beat parts. But at the same time, they also have these somber parts with melody, so it's just really diverse, really interesting, always keeps you interested. So song titles on the back. Just about every track is good on this, but I would say some of my favorite tracks, the opening track called Ambrosia Death, that's kind of like a melodic intro, like the calm before the storm. But like I find a lot of these Australian black metal bands, they've just got this unique grip on melody. Like a lot of bands the world over have that, but like the way Australian bands play it, it's got a distinct sound, so that's cool. So Ambrosia Death is a good a good song. And then also the title track, The Witches of Dathomir, is great. As I mentioned, the song that I heard on that compilation, Just One More Nail, that's probably my favorite track as the first Anatomy track I ever heard. It's just like fast, frantic, furious, shredding, like with the vocals, and it's like a cacophony of chaos, but like controlled and played very competently. So Just One More Nail, and the vocals in that are so impassioned and angry, you've got to hear it. Also another favorite track is Far From the World of Blue. That's when they slow down a bit, and it's again back to that sort of atmosphere and melody, but all created by guitars, so like distorted guitars, acoustic guitars, but just really fantastic album. And I think underrated. I'm not sure how well known Anatomy are outside Australia, but I don't hear people talking about them much. Incidentally, just like Anarazell, this band split up in 2001, and they've also recently reformed. So good to see these Aussie bands making a comeback, because I think they have something to offer. Interestingly, the album also closes with a cover of The Exorcist by Possessed, which I think is a good cover. They play it in Anatomy style, like with the distorted guitars and the raspy Anatomy black metal vocals. Really good. Yeah, so I think my favorite cover of The Exorcist is Cannibal Corpse's version from Hammer Smash Face. In fact, that was the first one I ever heard, like, just loved that version, but it's also cool to hear Anatomy do this. So if you're looking for something different, and in my opinion, underrated and underground, check these guys out. This is Anatomy with The Witches of Dathomir. All right, so 3 albums from Australia so far. Where are we going next around the world? The answer is Sweden. So, yet another black metal album. Not sure if you can see this in the light so well. This is Ancient Wisdom with And the Physical Shape of Light Bled. So for those who don't know, Ancient Wisdom, as I mentioned, is a Swedish project, and it's primarily a one-man band performed by this guy here. That's Marcus E. Norman, or Marcus Norman. He has fame in other bands. He's also known as Vagher, the vocalist and guitarist of the black speed metal band Bewitched. I love Bewitched, fucking great band. And he's also now playing in Nagelfar, the melodic Swedish black metal band. So he certainly has his credits, but this is his solo project, and he released a few albums in the late 90s, and I think he hasn't been active lately, but this album comes from the middle. So this is And the Physical Shape of Light Bled. If you haven't heard Ancient Wisdom, first of all, it's very different to Bewitched. Ancient Wisdom is sort of slow, majestic, atmospheric black metal. It takes a lot of influences from classical music. So he uses keyboards and synthesizers, but they're used to imitate string instruments like violins, so it sounds very orchestral. Not like Emperor, where it's organs or something like that. This is more string instruments. And he also uses a lot of acoustic piano, especially grand piano, like dum dum dum. So like those classical flourishes are really strong. So if you're a fan of classical music, not even metal, you might like this, I would say. The songs are slow to mid-pace, and it's very, very melancholic. In fact, I would almost say this is depressing music. Like, not depressing as in, like Ulver's Kveldsange, you go, oh, those songs are a bit melancholic. Yeah, this is actively sad music. It makes you feel sad. So if you're feeling depressed or a bit down, this is probably not the album to listen to, because it'll make you feel worse. But what I like about it is it's so musically talented. It's grandiose, it's epic, it's majestic, got a great grip on melody. It's like no other band, I find. So I'm just showing you the inner booklet here. Some pictures there are all the lyrics. So he writes the lyrics just in horizontal lines. Yeah. So if you like symphonic, majestic black metal, definitely check it out. The whole album is really good. Like, there's so much quality in the production, the songwriting, literally everything. The only shortcoming I can find with this album is sometimes it makes you feel depressed. So it depends how you feel, but definitely worth checking out. Like I said, it's unique. So some of my favorite tracks on this are And the Physical Shape of Light Bled, which is the title track. Also, what's the track? The Serpent's Blessing, track 6. And number 3, With His Triumph Came Fire. Like, so majestic and beautiful music, but also depressive. What was I going to say? Yeah, like, not all of them. They also have some sort of really haunting, spooky, atmospheric parts. Like in, I think it's in The Serpent's Blessing, or As the Morning Star Shineth, like this really sort of sinister, slow part where they're playing piano and you just feel the eeriness creep in. So it's not all sad, but then there's some parts that are super sad, like With His Triumph Came Fire, the melody and that, you'll know what I mean. Also the bridge in the title track, And the Physical Shape of Light Bled. Oh God, it's tear-inducing with its depressiveness, but that's exactly what he's going for. So very talented music. So in a nutshell, it's depressive, sad, but strangely beautiful and majestic. So I think it's unique in that sense. I also like his debut album, which was called For Snow Covered the Northland. I like that one more because it's not as sad as this. This one's more actively sad, but still worth checking out. I still prefer Bewitched. For me, Bewitched is just a pure fun band, like speed metal with black metal vocals, fucking awesome riffs, scorching. It's sick. Like over 20 years later, I still fucking love Bewitched. This band, this is, I guess, Vagher's different side, like his more reflective side, something like that. But definitely worth checking out for talented music. So that's Ancient Wisdom with And the Physical Shape of Light Bled. Right. Have a quick sip. All right, now, for a complete change of pace, change of scene, we're going to some thrash metal now. with an album that a lot of people probably know. This is Anthrax with State of Euphoria. So, of course, Anthrax needs no significant introduction. One of the most famous heavy metal bands, a member of the Big Four, alongside Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer. And this album came out in 1988. Speaking of the Big Four, this is the band that I'm least familiar with. But it's interesting because they're one of those bands that's sort of been in and out of my life in different stages. And now, especially as I get older, I appreciate them more and more. So I think they're a fucking great band. And this album is one of my favorites, definitely. Now, there's a special reason for that. The year was 1988 when this album came out. I was in grade 4 at school, and we had this Christmas raffle, like, you know, some Christmas related event where you got to win prizes. And it was like Wheel of Fortune. You could choose from all these prizes, and I saw the artwork. And someone had actually donated to the school a brand new LP of this album, State of Euphoria. And at that time, this was even before I knew Guns N' Roses. Like, I knew bands like Poison and Bon Jovi and stuff, and I thought, oh yeah, this looks like heavy music too, so I picked it. And we played it my mum played it for me a couple of times at home, and like, I was still too young to sort of appreciate it. But then when I was about 14 years old, my friend had a record player, and we were already heavily into metal then, so I took it round to his house, and we used to just listen to this album all the time. So there's a lot of nostalgic value in this album. Also, when another stage it came back into, my friend ended up keeping that LP because I didn't have a record player, but that's cool. He gave me his Cannibal Corpse Hammer Smashed Face CD, so trade off. And when I was about 21, 22, I was at university and I was living with my brother and some friends in this shared student accommodation, and we used to have house parties, you know, like 2 or 3 times a week, as you do, you know, drinking and just talking shit. And we used to always put this album on, so I associate it with good times at university. But anyway, really good album. Incidentally, I think a lot of fans, or even the band themselves, don't like this album so much. I strongly disagree, maybe because it's the nostalgic value, but it's most famous for the song Antisocial, which is, I think that song, I wouldn't say it's overrated, but I go, yeah, it's good, but there's so many better songs. Like, a French friend over here told me actually that this song was taken from a French band originally, Antisocial, but they just anglicized it. But it is a good song, and when I saw the Big Four performance of Anthrax in Sofia, when they performed this song, Antisocial, it's a great live track. But so many songs that I feel are better, like Be All End All, fucking brilliant song. Like, especially again when I saw that performance in Sofia of the band, the live rendition of Be All End All, like just that haunting riff, the vocal melodies, and just everything about that song. It's just sick. I love that song, Be All End All. Other tracks which I like, Out of Sight, Out of Mind. Track 2, just the riffs in that, amazing, and the sing-along chorus, you know, it's just infectious, I find that song. And especially the mid-pace breakdown, you know, and they've got that funny lyric like "take your head out of your ass," something like that. But really good. But like just the chorus, like I remember when I was with my friends at university, we used to always sing the chorus, like "Out of Sight, Out of Mind." Great song. Also, Make Me Laugh. That's got a really sort of hypnotic intro and shows the band, instead of just doing like raw chugging thrashy riffs, they also have a good grip on melody. And my other favorite track is Now It's Dark. Like just a ripping song, like great riffs in that, obnoxious chorus, you know, the "Don't You Fucking Look At Me," and like so easy to sing along to. Like Joey Belladonna's got a great voice. This band is brilliant, and I love this album. So just show you as with a lot of CDs from the 80s, not very special disc there. Cool cover art. I still think it's one of the most interesting ones in metal. Then you've got lyric sheet, picture of the band, more. So this is when Charlie and Scott Ian still had hair, or yeah, long hair. And then that famous picture of the band with the mascot. I can't remember his name, but I think he was inspired by Mad Magazine, and I loved reading Mad Magazine as a kid. So what can I say? Super fun album, quality, underrated. You should check it out. It's brilliant. So that's Anthrax with State of Euphoria. All right, And last CD for today is... broke the case, no, it was already broken. Another Anthrax album. This is Sound of White Noise. This is an album which features a different vocalist. So the original vocalist was Joey Belladonna, and then he got replaced by a guy called John Bush, who I think used to sing for Armored Saint. So it's when the band took on a new sound. I'm not sure which album he joined on. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with Anthrax as the other three of the big four. But get a picture. Yeah, so there's a picture of the band, John with long hair, and the rest of them. So it comes with this huge fold out of lyrics, pictures and shit. Right? And there's the disc. Yeah, so it's funny, when I picked up this album, I saw it at a second-hand market in Thailand, and I thought, oh, actually, I'm not too familiar with Anthrax. I'm not such a big fan. That's how I felt at the time, but I thought, you know, I'll buy this, and it was in a discount bin, and I thought I'd give it a chance. And to be honest, it's really grown on me in the last few years. Excuse me. I'm an Angel playing now. Great song. Okay, so yeah, this album, it's sort of where the band ramps up the heaviness. So like it was, I think, in the 90s sometime. Yeah, 93. So much heavier, thicker production. The guitar tone is great. Oh, excuse me, just a moment. Sorry, just changing that song. But where was I with this? Yeah, the guitar tone is really thick and heavy. The vocals are great. Like John Bush has a great voice, different from Joey Belladonna's, but still really good, and it suits the music. And just some quality songwriting, some really catchy parts, and especially the vocal melodies. Like John brought a lot to this band, I think, because what makes a lot of the songs so memorable is his singing, his vocals. Like you find yourself singing along to these songs, even if you're hearing them for the first time. So really great. I will say this, maybe it's because I'm not like such a huge die-hard fan of Anthrax, but to me, like, it's not like every track blows me away and kicks my ass, but as an overall listen, it's really, really good. And as time goes on, I find I like more and more songs. But you may have guessed which are my favorite songs. So some of the singles, so Only, that's track 2, just got a great sing-along chorus. I think James Hetfield from Metallica described that as a perfect song, and I kind of know what he means. Like, it's just so easy to sing along to that song, so they wrote a really good one there, especially with John's vocals. Also, Room for One More, sick riff in that, and just this heavy, chunky riff, and again, the chorus, you can't help but sing along, so brilliant. Another favorite track of mine is Invisible, really good. That's one that's grown on me lately. And a little bit of a surprise, my favorite track on this is actually track 8, Black Lodge. So for those who know the album, that's not a thrash metal song at all. It's actually a mellow track. So not acoustic, but clean guitars, and it's got some somber, soft sung vocals by John. But like that, it sort of builds up with the chorus and everything, but like just very mellow, very chilled, but just the melodies and the atmosphere and the emotion in that song, I really love it, and I like to sing along to it, especially the pre-chorus, and then it kind of builds up with the chorus, like it gets a bit raspier with the vocals, but that just shows that this band is so versatile. Like, they can write good quality songs, they can write great thrash songs, but they have more depth and color than just that. So for me, Black Lodge is my favorite track, a surprise favorite. Yeah, followed by Room for One More and Only. But if you've never heard this album, definitely check it out. I don't need to talk too much about Anthrax because everyone knows who they are, but I would say this one's underrated for sure. So that's Anthrax with Sound of White Noise. By the way, they're the only 2 Anthrax albums I own. So like I said, I'm not so familiar with them, but as time has gone on, I've come to appreciate them more. By the way, my brother introduced me to, is it the most recent album, For All Kings? And to me, fucking 10 out of 10. I love that album. It's the best Anthrax album I've ever heard, I think. Like, especially that song, All of Them Thieves, is just so good. And like, a lot of people complained that that album, For All Kings, was a bit metalcore-y. I don't agree with that. Like, it's not metalcore at all. It's just like, it's got some strong vocal melodies, but yeah, it's not that. It's just like they're sort of maturing as songwriters, but writing really good songs. And what's wrong with that? Like, as I said, that song, All of Them Thieves. If you don't like that song, what's wrong with you? But anyway, yeah, like I find this band's getting better and better. I have missed a lot of the older albums. I do know Persistence of Time, but please tell me, what's your favorite Anthrax album? Which one do you recommend? A lot of people have told me Fistful of Metal's good, so I've got a lot of homework to do, but I'd be interested to know for sure. So yeah, that's all on that. So that's it for this video, guys. I just thought I'd give you a little interim quick one. Well, quick one, not really, but just talking about my existing collection. By the way, if you're interested in seeing more Australian black metal, I've got a lot of underground obscure gems from when I bought those in Sydney all those years ago. Excuse me. Yeah, so when I bought those in Sydney, so more to come, but yeah, not saying it for the sake of being patriotic, but I think a lot of Australian extreme metal bands are underrated, so I look forward to talking more about those, to share that with you. Okay, so as for what's in the next video, you tell me, what do you want to see? I could do the Hell's Headbangers update, which I got recently, or I could go back to my existing vinyl and maybe start with black metal or something. But as always, got loads of stuff to talk about, so let me know what you'd like to hear. Okay, that's it, guys. I won't keep you any longer. Thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to making the next one. If you're new, please comment, like, and subscribe, and please share your comments and opinions on here, because I'm interested to hear them and check out new music. So thanks a lot for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.